So I wanted to talk about one thing. I know the fighting game community is very competitive, and they're switching the hitbox and all these different controllers. But I wanted to focus more on the advantage of sticking with your main character, like not giving up on your character. I know there's a lot of new characters that come out, and I understand picking up a secondary character. But I've seen a huge theme this EVO of people just sticking with their main characters, like sticking with characters that they've been playing with for years. There's something about that, because when you stick with your main character that you've had for years, you know the matchup so well, like the back of your hand. When you switch to a different character, obviously you have to learn. You have to relearn all the matchups. Like you might have like a grasp, and you can play online for many hours, but it's still not going to be the same as the character that you've been playing with for years. So I honestly believe if Fujimura, people like Fujimura stuck with Ibuki, Tokido stuck with Akuma, I think they would go pretty far. I think they would go even further than some of these people. But if you look at, for example, a lot of these fighters that I'm showing are from top 8. Daigo stuck with Guile. Lura, Idom stuck with Lura. For many years. These guys didn't give up on their characters. The only exception really would be Tokido. Tokido kind of gave up on Akuma. He dropped Akuma completely. It wasn't like he was using Akuma in like certain matchups. Like he just literally dropped Akuma, and he's really the only anomaly here that actually had success this year in EVO. That switched his character. But I've heard certain content creators say, "Hey, it's deep. You got to switch characters. You got to learn." Well, no, it's even deeper to not give up on your character. So I feel pretty strongly about that. Obviously, I'm not competitive. I'm not a professional, but these guys are all professional. These guys in the top 8 of EVO. This proves that sticking with your character, I think, is the best way to go. Obviously, if it's a horrible matchup, that's another thing. But let's take a look at one thing real quick I wanted to show you. So if we look at the top 8 of this year's EVO, you got. Let me read it out to you. Move myself aside. So Gachikan, has he been sticking with his main character for many years? Yep, he's been playing Rashid for many years. Daigo, he's been playing Guile for many years. Kawano, been playing Colleen for many years. Tokido's the only exception. Like I said, Tokido was an Akuma main, and he switched to Urien. My bad, Urien. Just a Kid, he's been playing Jury as long as Jury's been out. He's always been a Jury player. Oil King's always been a Rashid player. He never switched. Mr. Crimson, he's always been a Dalzian player, never switched. Idom, always been a Lura player, never switched. Now he did have a secondary character that he switched to, obviously in Poison, but Lura's still his main character. All these guys in top 8. So anybody saying that you have to switch, you have to pick a new character to move up. None of these guys, switched with the exception of Tokido. They're not crying about nerfs or anything like that. They stuck with their main characters, and there's something to be said about that. So I want to show you two examples of people that are excellent players, but they switched characters, and it cost them in EVO, this year's EVO. But real quick, I want you to hear something that I heard from the commentators that I really liked. Just listen to this real quick.
Showing that this character still has the juice, but again, look, it's the similar situation with Idom, right? Is Laura a top tier character? Is she considered one of the top 5? No.
I don't think Colleen is either, and she's hanging out in the EVO Grand Finals
exactly. Right now. So Tokido knows it's about the player. So you know what? Urien might be a little bit nerfed, but he is still put in the work with this character.
So I love that he said that. At the end of the day, it's about the character. We can complain about nerfs all day, or we can, make the adjustments and, be loyal to the character because the matchup so well. So I just love that they said that. But I want to shift our focus to a player that I think is a great player, but I think he shortchanged himself a little bit by, picking a different character that he thought was best. Obviously, he did pick a better character. I'm talking about Nephew. In EVO, he did pick a better character, but was he better with that character? Let's take a look at that real quick.
Everything in the pocket.
So basically, he's playing against Kudo. He decides to use Luke, who's considered the best character in the game. Okay.
Makes sense to me.
We could listen to some of this real quick. Actually, yeah, let's listen to some of this real quick.
Oh. Nice. Kudo finds another hit and got the stun.
Pressing Kudo, get it done. Gets fireball. Gonna kill. One more touch. Will. Overhead. Ooh.
Yeah.
Low though. Kudo. I mean, we talk about like characters that fit players, and I think Luke does fit Nephew very well. Like, especially with the V-trigger, that lane play that he's so used to is the way to go. But Kudo's so aggressive right now, not letting Nephew get anything started or feel comfortable.
No, he was able to get the jump in, and Nephew was not. And just like that, we have Kudo controlling the corner at a range where he can anti-air even preemptively.
Look at that, he's just getting washed. He's just getting bodied.
Nephew went back to the well. This time there's water.
That's why you got to stick with your man character,
The
man.
back throw. It's in the corner. Another throw, but Kudo will definitely take that.
His Colleen is godlike.
And Nephew for the grab on his advantage frames.
Activation this time from Kudo. Again, that crouching light kick, super strong from Kudo from this character. That suddenly it also appears. Fist to face to put him in his place and ends it with the EX legs. Kudo.
Really had a lot of control in that game, I gotta say.
Very, very dominant. Some of that just playing people like Spaceboy continuously. The other Luke players that we have in the U.S., especially in the East Coast.
So basically, he goes down and then he decides to switch characters. We'll go to the next set. The next set, he's playing with Colleen now. We can listen to this one as well.
Definitely helps out. So, let's see, get the run back like that. Anti-air right there. Cannot jump on a man like Kudo.
The kind of counter stuff that we were talking about.
See, there was a missed shimmy attempt right there. I think that's just, you know, like,
exactly where he wants to be.
obviously Nephew plays with Colleen, but I just think if he would have went with Colleen from the beginning, you know, it would have been a lot better.
It's already opening. Oh, that's what I'm talking about, that fierce in the corner carry.
Obviously, these players are just doing what they think is best, and I don't blame them for that, but honestly, like, there's two different schools of thought about this. My school of thought is you just have to play with your best character. You know, even if they're nerfed, even if you think the matchup sucks. Unless you have another really strong character to deal with that matchup, just stick with your main character. That's just my opinion.
A lot of work to do here for Nephew.
Even harder. You started with this character a little bit late in this match like that, so there's a little time to warm up, but now Kudo feeling the heat a little bit to put in the corner. Nice, back heavy kick, crush, the air there, drops him down with the fireball. Spinning bird legs, get some distance, but Kudo still fighting back. How aggressive Kudo is.
Yeah.
His buttons.
And right about so many of them. Nephew now would love to activate it. If he can find a way in, here it is! Kudo's defense has been on point.
It's wild to have that good defense with such active offense. Like, to be able to switch that back and forth, it's fantastic.
Just messing with my cat a little bit.
Here's the knockback throw. It's the normal, though. Kudo has him in the corner.
Basically, you know, let me summarize this. Basically, this set is a lot closer.
He's going to try to end it right here.
Super in play. Expensive.
Takes the round there.
We talked about the lower damage from this character. Do what must be need to be done. The super to stay in and stay on set point. Nephew, we're comfortable in this match.
Yeah, he's in trouble though. Here it is. Not a lot of damage. Oki's here. Nephew. Kudo's defense continues to be remarkable.
Activation of Thea's legs. No striking back. Finding opening on the fireball, no go.
Basically, another thing is I think
Nephew loves to live in the lead.
I think when people do this, they're kind of doing their main character a disservice, you know, because now their main character has to come in. Their main character's cold, you know.
Kudo's trigger is gone, but he's got.
You need at least a set to get, you know, to get warmed up.
Dangerous man. Nephew knows it.
To the EX. the corner with the javelin.
Oh, it wasn't quite there. Such danger from Nephew. He does not want to get touched.
One tap to it like that, and it is off the crouching kick into the super to seal it. Pluto. Nothing else but that, taking it in 2-0.
And that's it.
From Nephew, but I have to wonder.
That concludes that set. But I want you to hear what the commentators had to say, after the set. Basically, just my exact thoughts as well. Let's just hear this real quick.
From Nephew, but I have to wonder how that match would have went if he had just put Colleen off the grip.
We shall never know.
Yep. So, it's unfortunate, but I think at the end of the day, I would have loved to have seen, Nephew advance. I honestly believe if he would have stuck with Colleen from the beginning, I think he's good enough to where, he could have at least beat Kudo. And let me not say it like that. Kudo's actually a really great player. He beat Punk and CEO as well. But this guy's legit. But I think Nephew would have taken him. And Nephew has won some CPT events. Like he won a CPT event with Colleen as well. So like he's definitely no scrub. There is another thing worth noting that sometimes these pros, they play online and they get false confidence because a lot of pros, they can beat just about anybody online with any character. Well, I mean, like Punk can beat anyone online with any character, but some of these pros, they learn a new character and they get false confidence and they think, well, shoot, I'm beating all these people online with this new character, so I should be good in a tournament, right? Well, it's just a different setting, so sometimes that is worth noting. I think online is a great tool, but for learning matchups and staying fresh, obviously you got to keep playing online, to keep your, you got to stay active. It's just like exercise. If you stop exercising, you're going to be rusty, and that's exactly what happened to this next player that I'm about to talk about, Punk. He just got really rusty. He plays with Karen. Karen is his main character. Everybody knows that. But Punk is one person that could literally go online and beat anybody with any character. Like just about anybody with any character. It's pretty incredible what he does online. You can't win tournaments like that though. If you want to win a tournament, and I know I'm just a Diamond Colleen player. I don't know what I'm talking about. But if you want to win a tournament, it's my opinion that you just got to play your main character. You got to. If you look at all the successful people, you look at Daigo, if you look at just about anybody, Idom, you look at Kawano, you look at Mr. Crimson, anyone that streams, they're all playing with their main characters online. You never see Punk's Karen, ever. So my recommendation for him, if pride is a big problem with Punk, my recommendation would be just to find a dummy account somewhere, have a backup account somewhere. Only play Karen off stream if you have to, but play Karen. You can't let your Karen get rusty. And that's exactly what he did. He's not exercising his Karen, so his Karen is really like at 90%. And 90% is just not good enough to win a tournament. 90% can beat anybody online, but if you want to win a tournament, you're not winning a tournament with your Karen at 90%. So let's hear what some of these commentators had to say real quick. Let's go check that out real quick.
Better now than in the earliest iterations, but still, as you said, the forward-moving batch.
What is happening? He can still get so much more after the EX Tenko. He didn't even attempt to go for the V skill. I don't understand.
Yep, so unfortunately that's just rust. But let's go ahead and watch the end of the video, or end of the, Punk's EVO run real quick.
That would have been dead. That would have been dead anyway. Oh no, it happens to all of us. He got a jab.
Great punish there, by the way. Great punish.
All right. The delay. Angry Bird takes it 2-0 against Punk's Karen.
That is a huge statement to me.
Yeah, I feel like we've caught Punk in a transitional period where he's looking for the character that is the one that's going to get the job done for him. I've seen him using Luke the last couple of days, and his Luke's looking very dangerous. The carry just doesn't look as terrifying as it did in seasons past. We saw that when he pulled the carrying out in Saudi Arabia recently. We saw it there, as you were questioning some of the conversions, the follow-ups as well. That carry just doesn't look as terrifying as it used to do. It doesn't have that same aura around it.
It definitely felt out of character. There were certain sequences where he could have followed up. There was actually even 2 sequences before he had missed the EX Tenko into the V skill. There was a moment where he actually got EX Tenko and actually missed the side switch. I'm like, what was the intention here? It was very uncharacteristic of Punk, to be quite honest with you. I don't know what it could.
Alright, so in conclusion, what did we learn? We learned that character loyalty won EVO 2020. EVO 2022. If you look at all the great players that switched characters, they didn't believe in themselves, and they tried to switch and switch up to like a secondary character. They got washed. Even Problem X, who still mains Bison, but he switched up to Alex. I don't really know too much about that one, but all I know is 7 of the top 8 players in EVO, they all were character loyalists from the beginning, and it was just incredible to see. And by the way, if you like this video, please comment, like, subscribe, let me know your thoughts, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for joining.